Hello dear viewers, you are most welcome to lesson 2. We are still continuing talking about our topic, which is equations of straight lines. The previous lesson, that was lesson 1, we talked of the definition of gradients or slope, and we said that gradient is just the ratio of the vertical rise to horizontal line, and also say that we use the formula change in y values divided by the change in x value for us to determine the value of gradient or slope. We also talked about how to determine the gradient or slope of any given line that passes through any 2 points. So we could have a line drawn in the Cartesian plane and then trace where at least 2 points where it passes. We also talked about the types of gradient or slope, and we said there are 4 types of gradients. We said you have the positive gradient. We said for the positive gradient, the line rises from the left hand side to the right hand side. And also talked about another type of gradient, and that is the negative gradient. And for this one, we say that the line rises from the right to the left. And also we talked of the third type of gradient or slope, and that is the zero gradient. And we said for the zero gradient, the line is just horizontal, or the line is parallel to the x-axis. We also had the undefined type of gradient, undefined gradient, and we said for this one the line is perpendicular or vertical, or we can still say the line is parallel to the y-axis. That means if you find a line which is parallel to the y-axis, just know that line has undefined type of gradient. All right. So today we are going to talk of something simple in today's lesson. That is lesson 2 of our topic, and we are going to talk of determination of gradient of a straight line passing through any 2 given points, or you can call them coordinate points. So we want to look at how, in case we've been given any 2 points, how do we calculate and then determine the gradient of the line which passes through those 2 points given. Let's now have examples. We can have example 1. It reads, determine the slope of the lines passing through each pairs of points. And we have part A, passing through A, 4, -4, 2, and B, -3, 5. B, we have C, -2, 3, and D, 4, -1. Let's now have the solution. For part A, you can have part A. Remember the points given, you have A passing through -4, -2, and B, which is a point at this coordinate, -3, 5. Then from here we can let x1 may be equals to -4. Automatically y1 becomes the -2, and the x2 equaling to -3. Automatically y2 becomes 5. So having realized that, remember we are now determining slope, rather a gradient of a line passing through these two given points. Then here we employ our formula, which is gradient or slope, and is abbreviated as M, equals to change in y divided by change in x value. So at this point we are having M is equal to, you can have y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So our next step should be substitution step. So we are having M equals to y2, our y2 is 5, so we are having 5, minus our y1 is -2, divided by our x2, which is -3, minus our x1, which is -4. As we simplify further, we are getting our M equaling to 5, a negative and a negative. So we are saying that this one here, we get a positive answer, a positive here, and also here becomes positive. So we are going to have 5 plus 2 divided by -3 plus 4. So now 5 plus 2, we are getting our M equals to 7 divided by -3 plus 4, we are having 1. And therefore our M is equal to 7. Then we have to conclude. Remember in the question, they said determine the slope of the line passing through each pairs of points. So part A, we have got that as our answer. We can now therefore conclude and say that therefore the slope of a line passing through A, which is -4, -2, and B -3, 5 is 7. So this one becomes our answer, and it is very, very right. Alright, let's go to part B of our question. We have part B here. We have been given C, point C, which is -2, 3, -2, 3, and D, which is 4, -1, 4, -1. Still, we do the same. We let x1 to be equal to -2. Automatically, y1 becomes 3, and x2 is equal to this 4, and automatically y2 becomes -1. Still, from the formula, gradient or slope m is equal to the change in y divided by change in x. So still we have our m equaling to the y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Remember, I told you, even though we use this one, we get the same answer, as m is equal to y1 minus y2 divided by x1 minus x2. You come to the same answer, you get the same answer. So now our next step here, we are going to substitute in for those values of y2, y1, x2, and x1. That means we have our m, which is slope, equaling to y2 is -1 minus our y1, which is 3, divided by our x2, which is a 4, minus our x1, which is -2. As we simplify, here we are having this is -4 divided by 4 minus -2. It means that we are having 4 plus 2, giving us 6. As we simplify further, it means that we are going to have our m equaling to the -2 divided by 3. So we have reduced by 2 by 2 to give us 3. Therefore, for this case, we are saying that therefore slope of the line passing through points C, which is -2, 3, -2, 3, and D, which is 4, -1, is -2 out of 3. And this becomes our answer, and it's very right. Alright, let's go to example 2. Example 2, you're saying, given that the gradient or slope of a straight line passing through coordinates this and this, remember now here you can see we have this x as the unknown, this one, is 7. Determine the possible value of x. So in here they want us to determine the value of x. We are going to use the same formula of determining gradient because we've been given gradient as 7. Given this complete point, which is point A at -4, 2, and B, which is at x 5, and they want us to find or determine the value of x. So we are going to do like the way we've been doing it, saying that the gradient m is equal to a change in y value divided by change in x value. And in here, we can let x1 to be equal to -4. Automatically, y1 becomes -2. And the x2 equaling to the x. Automatically, y2 becomes our 5 from here. Then let's substitute in. We are having m is equal to, remember it is now, maybe you can use y1 minus y2 divided by x2 minus x1. So let's now substitute in. We are having our m equaling to y2. Our y2 is 5 minus our y1, which is minus 2, divided by our x2, which is x, minus our x1, which is -4. But remember, our m is given up there in the question, and what is its value? It is 7. So m is 7. Let's now substitute. This implies that we are having 7 equals to our 5. As simplify this one, becomes plus 2 divided by x plus 4. Let's now simplify further. So we are having 7 equals to 5 plus 2. This is 7 divided by x plus 4. And this is out of 1. The next step here, we are going to cross multiply. As we cross multiply, we are going to have a 7 into x plus 4 equals to 7 times 1. So this is 7x plus 7 times 4, that is 28, equals to 7 times 1, giving us 7. From here, let's collect the like terms. So we are having 7x plus 28 minus 28 equals to our 7 minus 28. So our 7x equals to 7 minus 28, giving us -21. Now the next step, we are supposed to divide through by 7, or divide 7 on both sides. So we have this, divided through by 7, divided through by 7. Our x becomes -3. We can now conclude and say therefore the value of x equals to or is -3. And this one becomes our right answer. We can now cross check up there. I can see that instead of giving you the value of x here, we are given gradient, and of which is the gradient we got here as this answer. Alright, let's now have example 3. The gradient of a straight line passing through points A, -2y, and B, 4, -1 is -2 out of 3. Find a possible value of y. Still, we take the same procedure. We are going to have our solution. Still, we let our x1 be equal to -2. automatically y1 becomes our y, and x2 is equal to 4, automatically our y2 becomes -1. Then from the formula of calculating gradient, we are going to say that gradient m is equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Then we are having our m is equaling to our y2, which is -1, minus our y1, which is our y, divided by our x2, which is 4, minus our x1, which is -2. But remember, our m is given as -2 divided by 3. That means we have to substitute it there. So this implies that our m, which is -2 divided by 3, should be equal to our -1 minus the y, which we want to determine its magnitude. And now as we simplify this denominator, this one becomes a plus. Therefore you have 4 plus 2, giving us a 6. Our next step should be a step of cross multiplication. So we are having this divided by 6. We are going to cross multiply. And as we cross multiply, what do we have? We are going to have the 3 into -1 minus y equaling to our -2 times 6. Let's simplify. So we are having, this is -3 minus 3y equaling to -12. So we'll collect like terms. We are having -3 plus 3 minus 3y equaling to -12 plus 3. So in here, we are having our -3y equaling to -9. So the next step here, we divide it through. So we are having -3y equaling to 9. So we divide through -3 both sides. So you are having -3, which is equal to 9, divided by -3, divided by -3. Our y is equal to positive divided by a negative, we get a negative answer. And this one becomes 3. Therefore, the value of y is -3. And that one becomes our right answer. And thanks for watching. See you in the next lesson. Goodbye.